Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and today I will be reviewing the Slash ATV. If you're interested in this board or any other of the products that I mentioned in this video, make sure you're clicking those affiliate links down in the description below, and that way you don't have to go searching the internet yourself. This board is equipped with a classic camber profile, which is just straight up camber. So from contact point to contact point, you're gonna have that classic camber that you pretty much grew up on, where you're gonna have pretty much all the benefits of that full camber profile, which are pop, drive, and being able to power in and out of turns. The ATV is offered in a size 155, 157, 159 wide, and a 163 wide for the big dogs. I rode this board at Copper Mountain, where it started off as a beautiful sunny day as I was lacing this thing up, turning those screws on it. It was beautiful. The second I got this board fully mounted up, started walking to the lift, it just got really dark. The wind started picking up, started blowing around, that sort of thing. And like the first run, it was nice and soft. After that, it got super firm and just jagged everywhere. Whatever snow was soft before, that got pushed to the sides. Pretty much all those push piles that started to form just turned into solid rock out there, where it was crazy icy, crazy firm. But you know what? We still went out there and did it, and I used my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury phase bindings. When we're talking overall flex on the ATV, it is going to be coming in at stiffer than the middle of the road, honestly erring more towards that side of stiff than in the middle of the road, just because it is camber from contact point to contact point on this thing. And it felt like it had a very fluid flex to it, where when I did flex into it, it just felt like the whole board would react to it and just kind of fold in on me, where I shouldn't say fold, that's probably a bad use of words there, but I could feel it flexing on the whole board instead of just parts of it, where honestly it felt really good. And when I do go to foot steer this thing, I had to put quite a bit of force into it, where I had to think about what I was doing. It didn't really want to be foot steered, but you definitely can. And as we translate into the stability portion, this board is going to be very stable. It's definitely erring on that lively side more than a damp side, but it wasn't really sending a whole bunch of vibrations through my feet, up to my knees, anything like that. I wasn't feeling that. I was just feeling it being a little bit more reactive on that firm snow, like say when I was going over push piles, anything like that. It just really wanted to just skip over it, keep its edge, and not fold on me or anything like that. I could really push the limits on this board without having it actually just totally fail on me. When we're talking about ollie power on this board, this thing turns it up to 11, where I pretty much loaded this thing up and was not expecting the return that it gave. That first side hit I hit with this thing, I was like, I'll just come in at a normal cruising speed, pop it, we'll see what happens. Oh no, there goes the landing. This thing just went for days. It has such a good spring in the tail that you would think it actually has springs in the tail, but it really is amazing. And the same thing goes when you take it off of jumps. Feel free to take it to whatever jump line that you're comfortable on. It really has no limits there. If you're a big dog and you can go to that XL line, go for it. If you're just not there quite yet, it'll handle it for you, no problems. It thrives on that medium line just as well, where I had a blast to it. You can let the lip do the work, but why limit yourself, you know? This thing will pop to the moon, and it feels extremely stable when you're going into that jump and when you're landing from it. It's just a super fun jump board. I had a blast on it. It really excels getting in the air. Since you're enjoying this video, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. If you watch my whole jump section of this board, you'll realize it's probably not going to be the most butterable or jibbable board out there, and it's pretty true to that, where when you do fold or when you do flex into this thing, you don't really have the biggest surface area to work on, since it is super fluid with how this board flexes. The sweet spot kind of changes on you a little bit, where if you go a little too much all the way back to this tail, it's gonna fold. But pretty much as long as you keep it in front of that contact point and that camber zone, it'll hold for you. It definitely took more work for me to get my tail presses and nose presses out of this board, but you know, you got to take it as you will, especially if it's going to pop that hard. You got to expect a little bit more work when it comes to buttering and jibbing. And honestly, there is a spring on the way out of this thing, so make sure you're aware of that. And if you want to go and pop a 180, 360 out of your butters, feel free to. Not that big of a deal on this board because there is so much spring in it. Now, as we talk about the jibbing portion, it's not the greatest when it comes to jibs, in my opinion, where I definitely had to think a little bit more on those tail presses, on those nose presses, where I really had to be focused on it, really find that sweet spot, which is pretty much right where this logo is for Slash by Gigi. And that's pretty much where you're gonna find that sweet spot, maybe even a little after, just depending on how you like to tail press on boxes and rails. But the main thing I would say is when you are sliding this thing sideways, make sure you're not trying to come from the top rope, because it is pretty reactive where it's just gonna load up on that rail and spring you right off. So just keep that in mind. Maybe try to come in a little bit lower than just going straight to the moon and landing on this thing, because you might get a little bucked on it. This board will hit any carve. I will say though, make sure you're just taking all those carves with speed. You can't be just kind of moseying around, that sort of thing. It's gonna be a real bear to get on edge if you're doing that. But if you're coming in with speed, you'll notice those short quick carves are a little bit slower edge to edge, but they're really not that bad, especially as you move faster. The board wants to turn faster, so really not that terrible, especially for who this board is designed for. You guys aren't going super slow. You're not riding with the kids, that sort of thing. You're taking everything at full speed. And honestly, the medium, large carves, they're great, especially at high speeds. You could take those medium carves really anywhere, whether it's setting up for a jump or just cruising the mountain. It'll handle them, no problem there. On the large carves, it's amazing. This thing is super true, holds its edge amazing, and will just blow right through moguls and push piles. So you really don't have to worry too much about that. It'll just keep on trucking right through there. And yes, it will Euro carve. Feel free to keep that weight just nice and centered there and you won't have any problems, but it'll hit both toe side and heel side as long as your boots aren't too big there, because everybody knows toe drag's a myth. Rider in mind. This board is made for that rider that is just an absolute ripper, a total charger everywhere. They don't know a speed limit, and neither does this board. They just want to take everything fast and go huge. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Well, sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. I had a great time on this board. It is definitely more on that lively reactive side, which was actually pretty nice, especially when I couldn't really see what was going on out there. I could just pretty much ride by braille, and this board was great for it, where I knew exactly what kind of snow I was on top of, what kind of snow I was going into. It was really great for that. This thing just wants to charge everywhere, and it's super fun for that, especially going off of side hits, rollers, jumps, all that stuff. Getting in the air, this board is just amazing. So if you're in the market for that directional twin that you really want to just charge on, take no runs off on, and when your legs are tired, it's time to get out of there, this is going to be the board for you. It's going to handle everything you put up to it, and it's got a pretty sweet shape to it. I love the way this tail and the nose are shaped. It's truly an awesome board. Slash, you guys crushed it on this one. Congrats, Gigi. Comparable boards: the K2 Antidote, the Jones Mountain Twin Pro, and the Ride Algorhythm. Recommended bindings: the Union Falcor, the Jones Mercury, and the Rome Katana Fase. As always, guys, I've been your host TC, and this has been my review of the Slash ATV. If this board just sounds a little bit too lively for you, a little bit too aggressive, why don't you go check out one of the videos for the comparable boards, and that way you know you're getting a board that you're absolutely gonna love.